I'm my Legion. How y'all doing today? Maggie's sitting right behind me. It's kind of hard to see here. She's right there. And this is another episode of Maggie Me at the Movies. And I have I have 4 movies to review. 3 of which is like a 80s triple threat. And these are movies I haven't seen. At least 2 of them I have seen in about 30 years. And one is like, I haven't seen maybe 27 years. Well, anyways, I might as well talk about the movie I saw in the underground first last night. And it was a movie called Abar. Very strange movie from 1975 about an African American family. They moved into this one house. One guy's a doctor. And although it's in a white neighborhood, and all the white people want him out of the neighborhood. And then they get defended by this guy named Abar and his group. It's kind of like the Black Panthers. And the guy's doing this, the doctor's doing these experiments. And I figured they were playing ominous music and he was doing like test subjects on these rabbits and stuff. And then like it takes like an hour to get into that plot, but he's like a mad scientist and he wants to transform Abar into like the superhero. It's very entertaining, but also very silly too. It reminded me of the Bernie Casey movie, but I mean that was more like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's a very entertaining film. It's very strange though, and it's almost a full 2 hours. It's like an hour and 40 minutes. It's probably longer than it should have been, but it's very entertaining. I really enjoyed the film. So I have to give that 9 out of 10 just for its unusual nature, you know. Now the films I want to talk about, well, that was one I reviewed, is 3 80s films. Electric Dreams. Okay, Maggie? Electric Dreams, The Power, and Munchies. I'm going to say Munchies for the end because there's I have a big history about Munchies too. And I have a history for the other 2 movies. And basically what happened was whenever we were growing up in Cranesville in the 80s, and this is when I was still in school, high school. Not when I went into the Army. I went in the Army like November 22nd of 87. And we lived out in the country in a house. And the cable, back then cable didn't go out to the country. They go out everywhere now. But back then they didn't. And my dad wanted cable really bad. And basically all we had was the rabbit ears. And we got a lot of Canadian TV. And then we got like a VCR, so that helped some. And we used to go to the video rental store all the time. Well, anyways, there was a bunch of movies that we didn't see. And my one friend, Robinson, friend of myself and my sister, had a whole bunch of movies. So we used to walk over there at night, usually on the weekend, and we saw a bunch of movies. We saw, and this is the last time I see some of the movies. We saw The Thing, Porky's, Blues Brothers, and those were all movies I've seen multiple times. And also The Evil Dead, and that's a movie I saw multiple times. And there was a couple movies I only saw that one time. And that was Electric Dreams and The Power. Now, I was looking through YouTube, and YouTube is really good sometimes finding movies that people might have forgotten about. I saw Electric Dreams on there, The Power, and Munchies. So I thought I'd do a review on all 3. And that Abar was on Turner Classic Movies on the Underground last night. I was going to watch 3 the hard way, but I got into a conversation with a person named Wonder Woman on Facebook. So, I mean, I didn't see 3 the hard way. I started to, but, you know, I got into a conversation with her. And basically, Electric Dreams is a really good show about... Now, my preconception of it was changed a little bit because I haven't seen it in a long time. Because I remember I watched the Academy Awards, the last one. My dad, you know, this is way before he passed away. And they were talking about a movie called She with Joaquin Phoenix about a guy who fell in love with a computer. Or a computer falls in love with him, or he falls in love with the computer. I said, that's Electric Dreams. I remember saying it to my dad. Now, seeing the plot, that's what I thought it was. I couldn't remember if the computer fell in love with him or he fell in love with the computer. But that's not what happened. I haven't seen it in a long time. Basically resolves around this guy that didn't want anything to do with computers. And eventually he thought maybe it'd help out his job. And this one girl talks him into getting this computer system. And then she drops it. And she said, well, I'll give it to you at cost. And it's a very elaborate little thing. And then he turns on and it says like how he can hook up the computer to all of the devices on his house like you see now. So it pretty much runs all the devices in his house, including security, making coffee, and all this other stuff, locking, unlocking his door. And you see it taking on some humoristic traits. There's like a dog comes on there. The computer starts talking like a dog to try to scare the dog away. And then there's this one girl who's a cello player, played by Virginia Madsen. And it's kind of neat. They have something where they can hear each other. They have like these air ducts with this old cast iron frame. It reminded me of my great-grandmother's house, and we called her Nunny. She lived in Punxsutawney. I haven't been to Punxsutawney in a long time, since the very early 90s. And she passed away in 93, I believe, sadly. But she reached a good old age, though, my great-grandmother. Well, anyways, they showed the thing. She could hear each other. And at Nunny's, my great-grandmother's, I remember when we stayed over there, sometimes we spent a whole weekend there. Spent overnight, waking up at maybe like 8 or 9 in the morning. You could hear them talking. You could look down through the grate and see the kitchen, and you can smell coffee. I always remember the smell of coffee at my great-grandmother's house. And that's how that was, where they had like the big air duct. But I mean, it was like more elaborate in this apartment system, And basically, the computer started hearing her playing the cello, and the computer started getting like this thing and started playing back, and she was wondering where all these pieces were coming from. And the guy said, I'd rather not talk about it. He never would say that was from his computer. And then basically, as the story goes on, the computer learns how to talk, and it picks up on her and and he wants the computer to make like songs for him and stuff to give the girl, and the computer ends up having feelings for the woman. And I don't want to give away a whole lot more. It's actually very strange. It's a very strange film. It's shot in like a music video fashion. Now, I remember my friend saying it was one of the funniest movies they ever seen. There's little jokes, little bits, a little chuckle here and there, but I didn't think it was that funny. I just thought it was very bizarre, but very interesting and fascinating. Very interesting. And there was no real rip-offs of this movie until like She came along. That movie She, because it's just such an unusual film. And then you might be reminded of Hal from 2001, but this was different. And Bud Cort was the voice of the computer. And the one strange thing was, towards the end it gets kind of sad. I started crying some. And then Maggie was laying right next to me. She looked over and she reached out her paw. And I held her onto her paw while I was crying. And that's the true story. That really happened. Because I love Maggie. But I mean, I really enjoyed the movie. If you watch the movie, not giving away any spoilers. Oh, Maggie. Check out the ending credits. Right at the ending credits, there's some more of the movie there, with the computer talking to the audience, kind of. And it's really clever and funny, so I really enjoyed that. I give Electric Dreams the high 9.5 out of 10. It's very entertaining. But I mean, when the sad part came, it kind of let you off the hook, and then it had a little more of a happier ending. But it was sad, a part of it. But I give it a 9.5 out of 10. Now, the next movie is The Power, and I finally finished watching it today. It basically is about like this idol that has all these evil powers that it may bring out the darkest side of man, And I remember hearing about this on, whenever Siskel and Ebert left, I remember that Jeffrey Lyons and Michael Medved put this on their Dogs of the Week. And they kind of made the movie sound more interesting than it really was. I remember reading about it in Fangoria magazine, too. And they made it sound a little more interesting than what it really was. And basically, this professor has the idol, and then he dies, and this guy said, "Where's it at?" And they say it's at this one place in New Mexico or Peru or something like that. And the guy goes down there, and there's subtitles. And the one thing, the subtitles are clear and easy to read, which is very important to me. And the guy said he'll pay his money just to see the idol hold it. And the guy wants it back. And then the guy gets obsessed by the idol. He ends up killing the little boy and the old man that had it because they're still innocent. They don't get corrupted by the evil. And then the idol can makes your body all screwed up, and and then these young kids have it and found it. I don't know. It didn't really explain how they got it. And there's this tabloid called the Witness or Eyewitness News or something like that. The Witness, or I can't remember. And I remember Jeffrey Lyons said it made the Inquirer look like Saturday Evening Post. No, it didn't. It was kind of like Weekly World News talking about aliens and stuff. I mean, they hyped that up too. And basically, the one editor becomes obsessed with the idol, and it's kind of talky. It's very ambitious. There was contention when it was made. In that one book, it said 1980, and then the other book said on YouTube it said 84, but it was made in 83. And it usually gets confused because Richard Gere did a movie called The Power back in 86, which is really good. People usually confuse it with that movie. But it's pretty good. It's a little bit... I remember it being more interesting what it was. I mean, I was a little bit disappointed watching it again. I'd probably give that a mild 6.5 out of 10. It's very talky, but I did enjoy the movie. Now, the next movie is Munchies. And I remember seeing that. I remember hearing about that at the theater. This played in the movie theater. And it played for like 1 week. And then I couldn't find it anyway. I was looking all over. And I found it. My one friend had a copy of it on a kind of a crappy copy of it in Germany. And I watched it in Germany. And then I finally saw it again last night. And the only thing I really remembered about was the monsters terrorizing this golf course, and also Harvey Korman being in the movie. And basically, Harvey Korman plays a dual role. It's like a takeoff of Gremlins, and the creatures look pretty crappy. It's only so-so. I mean, it's kind of real cartoony. I only give that a 5.5 out of 10. And that brings me up to these creature films. I remember seeing Gremlins. Gremlins started all off. And then I remember renting that on video. And then seeing Gremlins 2 at the movie theater in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. I love that. I love the original Gremlins 2. And then Critters came out back in the 80s. I remember the first one. The kids loved that. Renting that on videotape. And then seeing the second one in Fort Gordon, Georgia. And then renting Critters 3 with Leonardo DiCaprio as his first movie. That was okay. And then Critters 4 on Cinemax. And then there was Ghoulies. I remember Ghoulies played in the theater for like a week. And I remember how fast it came out on VHS, maybe like 3 or 4 weeks after I saw it advertised in the paper. And then I remember seeing Ghoulies 2 in in Germany. Then Ghoulies 3 in Fort Detrick, North Carolina. Then Ghoulies 4, which is completely different on Cinemax, and that was an R-rated movie, And those were the top 3. And then they got Munchies. And Munchies, was, like I said, was only okay. And then they did a good change to it. They made it kid-friendly. Because they made it like, they find like one creature, and he befriends this little boy and helps him with bullies and stuff. And then there's one called Munchie Strikes Out. And Lonnie Anderson and Artie Johnson are both of them, I think. I saw that on cable. I might have seen just the one, or I saw both of them. I can't remember back to back. A long time ago in the early 90s. And then, last but not least, the bottom of the barrel of these monster movies, Hobgoblins. Hobgoblins absolutely sucked. I mean, I wanted to see it. It came on the East Side. I wanted to see it. I didn't see it till 91. I wish I hadn't. I watched a little bit of it last night to see if it was connected to Fred, Oil, and Ray, because now they released it on Retro Media like a couple years back. But no, Hobgoblin sucks. So there you got my 80s triple threat, and also my review of the very bizarre film Abar. So I hope you liked this video. Until next time, for me and Maggie, take care, my Legion, in this super long video.